أشرقت نفسي بنور من فؤادي حينما رددت يا رب العباد وانتشت روحي وصار الدمع يجري يا إلهي خذ بقلبي.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. We continue inshaAllah. Before the break we had taken the chapter Bab al-Ghasb, the chapter of misappropriation. We learned that sariqa, stealing, is defined by when you take the property of another bil khufya, very very quietly, very very silently. The person is unaware, the person might not be around even. And so we saw, for example, someone breaks into the house of another, the burglar, etc, etc. We also learned that ikhtilas is wherein you take the property of another and this another is unaware. You pick his pockets. He was there in front of you, but he was unaware of the matter. And lastly, ghasb, this is wherein you take the property of another bil quwwa, by force. This person could be standing in front of you, but he cannot do anything. You come with a gun, for example, the hijacker, etc. And now we move on to a very simple chapter, the chapter of preemption, Bab al-Shuf'a. We find that the linguistic definition of the word shuf'a from shafa'a is to join. Shaf' means to join. So we have pairs. We have one and you have one next to it. We say this is shaf' as opposed to witr, which is on its own. As for the legal definition, then it is istihqaq al-sharik intiza' hissati sharikihi mimman intaqalat ilayhi bi'iwad mali. It is the right of a partner to take the property of the other partner, and this property was sold to a third party. So it gives the one partner the right to take the property, the previous property of his partner from the third party for the same price that the third party had purchased it for. Example, two individuals own a plot of land. So they are partners. They are sharing the rights to this property. Each one of them owns 50% and 50%. They've not demarcated it or anything of the sort. You own 50%, I own 50%. And then one of the partners goes ahead and he sells his share to a third party. So brother Sulaiman, he says, no, why did you sell your share to a third party? I don't like that third party. I liked you. I wanted you to be my partner. But now you sold it to a third party. I don't like this individual. I'm not too happy with this. I'm not comfortable. So this brother, he has the right of taking back that share from the third party for the price that the third party had paid for it. So it gives the right of a partner to take back or to purchase back the property which was sold to a third party for the same price that it was sold. And this is la darar wa la dirar. This is so that we do not cause harm to one another. You, brother Sulaiman, you sold your share for how much? £10,000. Well, here, no problem, I will take and I will purchase that share from you for the same £10,000. We find that from amongst the shurut for this shuf'a is that the milk must be musha', that the ownership of this property, ownership of the building, etc. must not be demarcated. It must not be set out that you own the right section, I own the left section. No, but rather we are partners in the entire property. So it is undivided. Jayyid. So number one, the shurut for shuf'a to occur, number one, that the property must be undivided. Number two, majority of the scholars state that it must be some sort of land, some sort of building. We do not say you have the right of shuf'a to, example, a remote. You don't have the right of shuf'a to a car, etc. We might be partners in this car. Both of us purchased it and I sold my share to a third party. Majority of the scholars say that shuf'a does not apply in these matters. Why? Because they are manqul. They move around, etc. Whereas shuf'a operates in immovable properties. But there is a difference of opinion in this mas'ala. Also, that the share which was sold, it must have been sold. If one of the partners gifted his properties to someone, or if one of the parties passed away and obviously his heirs, etc. inherit it, then it does not give the original partner the right of shuf'a in this matter. It's only if a partner sold his share to a third party, then you can go to the third party and buy back that share for the same price, according to majority of the scholars. Also, when it comes to the matter of shuf'a, from amongst the shurut, is that you need to buy the entire share. If Brother Sulaiman sold his 50% to a third party, you cannot go to the third party and say, I have the right of shuf'a, but I'm only purchasing back 25%. No, you need to take the entire 50%. Also, it must be for the same price. If Brother Sulaiman sold his share to a third party for £10,000, then you purchase it from that third party for £10,000. Not less, not more. Also, if for example you heard that Brother Sulaiman sold his share to a third party, and you were quiet, maybe a year went by, maybe 2 years went by, you did not do anything, and then after 3 years, you say, you know what, I have the right of shuf'a, and I want to purchase back that share which was sold to the third party. No, where were you for the past 3 years? When it happens, you come forward, unless there was some sort of reason for the delay, some sort of logical reason for the delay. But otherwise, you heard about it, you were fine. Now 3-4 years later, now you come and you want to make an issue, it will not be accepted from you. And the hadith with regards to this matter, the proof for this matter, is the hadith of Jabir radiallahu ta'ala an, reported by Imam al-Bukhari and Imam Muslim, as we will come across it insha'Allah. And also consensus of the scholars that shuf'a is something which is valid. It is the right of the original partner to take the property, to purchase the property of his previous partner from the third party for the same price that the third party had purchased it for. And what's the hikmah and wisdom? Hikmah and wisdom is that so we do not have darar, we do not have harm to the original partner. With that, we begin the explanation insha'Allah. The author says, Bab ash-shuf'a, the chapter of preemption. وهي استحقاق الإنسان انتزاع حصة شريكه من يد مشتريها ولا تجب إلا بشروط سبعة. The author states, the right of preemption, shuf'a, is a person's entitlement. It is the haqq, it is a right of that original partner to wrest his partner's share from the hand of the buyer, to take back that previous partner's share from the third party, to take it back by force. He can take it back by force, and he gives the amount which was paid for it. It is his haqq, wajib by the sharia. But it is subject to 7 preconditions the author mentions. Number 1, al-bay'u فلا تجب في موهوب ولا موقوف ولا عوض خلع ولا صداق. That it must be a sale. Your partner must have sold this share of his to a third party. Sale. It does not apply if he had gifted it to a third party, or if he made it a waqf, or if it was a compensation and compensation with regards to a khul'. Maybe the partner was a female and she wanted a divorce from her husband, and so she got a khula', and so she said to her husband, I'm giving you my share of that land in that certain property, etc., etc. So if this had happened, the original party does not have recourse to shuf'a. Shuf'a operates according to the madhab only if your partner had sold it to a third party. If he gifted it, made it a waqf, if it was the compensation in a khul', etc., or it was sadaq, it was the mahar in marriage, then you do not have the right to shuf'a according to the madhab. Number 2, أن يكون عقارا وما يتصل به من الغراس والبناء. That share must consist of immovable property. It must be land, it must be some sort of building, apartment buildings, etc., etc., or something connected with the buildings like cultivation, etc. But it must not be, we have shuf'a in, for example, a book, we have shuf'a in a car, we have shuf'a in an aeroplane, etc. According to the madhab, shuf'a does not operate there, does not apply there, does not give you the right of purchasing the share back from the third party if it was a plane or a car. But if it was land, building, etc., then shuf'a applies according to the madhab. And in this mas'ala and the previous mas'ala, there are differences amongst the scholars. The third shart, أن يكون شخصا مشاعا فأما المقسوم المحدود فلا شفعة فيه لقول جابر قضى رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم بالشفعة في كل ما لم يقسم فإذا وقعت الحدود وصرفت الطرق فلا شفعة فيه. The famous hadith. It must be in an undivided property. So this apartment buildings, 20 of them, both of us own 50-50. All three partners own 1/3, 1/3, 1/3. It must be undivided. But as for that which is divided by fixed boundaries, so my house is here, we have a fence, your house next door, and then you sold your house to someone, I cannot say, well, you know what, I have the right of shuf'ah and I want to purchase that property of yours which you had sold to a third party, and I'm taking it and I give the third party the money that he had purchased it for. No, it would not apply. Why? Because of the hadith of Jabir, which states, as for that which was divided by fixed boundaries, there is no right of preemption where it is concerned. Because of the saying of Jabir, and Allah's Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam decreed preemption in the case of any property that is not divided. There is no right of preemption, therefore, when the boundaries have been fixed and the roads have been turned in different directions, etc. And this is the opinion of majority of the scholars. There is khilaf, and we'll leave that for another time, insha'Allah. Based upon the hadith, al-jar أحق بدار جاره أو كما قال عليه الصلاة والسلام, that the neighbor has more right to the property of his neighbor than anyone else. And the Hanafi scholars allow this mas'ala. And the Hanafi scholars are of the opinion that even if the boundary was set, the neighbor or the partner, he has a right to the property of the other more than anyone else. And there is a lot of ikhtilaf in this mas'ala.